CBD by itself or THC by itself isn't as effective as both of these things together. And in cannabis specifically, the whole is greater much more than the parts. Like the different cannabinoids playing together have much more therapeutic effects and effects of all types than separately. And they've been working on, so a lot of the people, this is research that I've done, research that others have done, and sort of conclude the same thing. It all depends on the ratio. So for example, you can change the effect profile of cannabis or a cannabis product by changing the ratio of, for example, THC to CBD or CBD to THC, or now other cannabinoids that are being explored, right? And for example, in the case of pain reduction, cannabis seems to be very effective. There's a reason why a lot of surfers and hockey players use cannabis. So they've done these very broad surveys of all these NCAA athletes and all these elite athletes around the world. And what they found is that it's such kind of funny, but there's certain groups. Obviously, if you're from a country that supports cannabis, you're might probably use cannabis more than a country that doesn't.
Yeah.
But there's certain groups within certain sports that seem to have a higher prevalence of cannabis use. And that's, for example, sliding sports like skiers, bobsledders, skeleton, these sort of sports. And I'm not sure what that has to say about the sport, but I mean, and also hockey players and surfers. Hockey players and surfers use cannabis quite a bit. And there's theories behind this, is because cannabis, for example, or THC in cannabis does increase the pressure thresholds. So when you have pressure on specific spots of your body, cannabis, and again, I'll use cannabis and THC interchangeably because it's the whole, I'm saying like it's all the cannabinoids together, but primarily THC is present. It's cannabis increases the endurance to these specific pressure points, as in the case of some of these different sports that I previously mentioned, right? It increases the tolerance to that, right? And so if you're doing a contact sport or a sport that has these aspects involved in it, then cannabis could likely help you in terms of performance for this. But in addition to that, the vast majority of the athletes who use cannabis say the same thing. They say that I enjoy using cannabis as a way to help me relax, one, before a competition or during training, or I'm getting stressed for something, and to help sleep. So these are aspects that I think in sport are often maybe not taken into account or disregarded, but there's a lot of value in being able to relax prior to a competition or a moment you have to have a significant output, especially if you're a professional, right? To be able to clear your mind and do what you need to do, and to be able to sleep prior to one of these competitions.